We started with 32 teams, and now we are left with 14. The MVP ballots are being casted, and the Pro Bowlers have been chosen. When the dust settles, which team will reign atop of the NFL? With the regular season over and the playoff picture set, come along with us as we take a dive into the 2023-2024 NFL playoffs and Super WildCard weekend. Episode 19 starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And welcome. Episode 19 of the Two Dudes podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Freak.
And I'm Babs. It's playoff time. So let's talk about it.
All right. We started with 32 teams. We are down to the final 14 teams as the playoff picture has been officially set. We have our first round matchups, our number one seeds for each following conference. Of course, slight change up from the playoff picture last week. From last episode, as you guys will see, the Pittsburgh Steelers found a way and got into this year's playoffs with some help from some other teams, but they handled business on their own instead of it being solely up to other teams. They handled what they had to do and ended the season with a 3-game win streak. If they would have lost any of those last 3 games, they were out. The NFC playoff picture is exactly the same as it was last week. No changes. From the Eagles losing to the Giants, Dallas locking up their division. The same with Tampa and Green Bay. They both locked up their division. It would be a little different if Los Angeles lost to the 49ers. They would have been the 7th seed. And I believe, I don't know who would have been the 6th seed at that point. I think maybe Seattle would have gotten in or something.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
but this is our current playoff picture. And we're starting off with both one seeds are still San Fran and Baltimore, of course. Um, yeah, the pretty wild um, regular season.
You can say that again.
A lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries. The year of the backup quarterback is now officially over.
What a year.
There is only 2 backups that will be starting in these playoffs. That is Mason Rudolph for the Steelers, and that is Joe Flacco for the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're primed and set up for some nice playoff football coming up this weekend. We've got matchups Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to mention about the regular season before we take a deeper dive into these matchups? Like,
My team gave me so much damn anxiety. I'll tell you that much. Nah,
this season,
it was crazy season for real.
man,
I can't believe. Yeah, it went fast.
it went by way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Hey, it was crazy as fuck.
Yeah, it's just pretty wild.
Yeah.
All these ups and downs. A lot of coaches have been fired. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Probably the most notable firing so far happened today. Kind of surprised both of us. Tennessee let go of Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, you knew Arthur Smith was gone in Atlanta. You saw that one coming.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall there. Same with kind of um, Washington.
Yep.
You kind of expected those. Vrabel, I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of see that you can kind of see the same for Tennessee and Vrabel for I mean, just the standard. He's been there so long. They had a bunch of playoff appearances. They had the number 1 seed one year,
I mean, I think he's been there what
and
6 years, and
mhm,
4 of
they
the
only
years
had
were winning seasons.
yeah, but they only had one deep playoff run where they went to the AFC title game, and I think they lost to Kansas City.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, it's expected. I mean, when you're at a place for so long and you're coming up with the same results, or
You're not
you're
getting
not
better.
getting past a certain point, um, organization is just going to move on at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably why New England hasn't made a decision yet, because they're not used to being in this position with
Yeah,
Belichick. So yeah,
they don't know what to do with that one. It's new.
mm-mm. Pretty wild season. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely was. Lot of crazy shit.
a lot of quarterbacks got hurt. Um, and it was just
Yeah,
a
a
lot of
lot.
unpredictability
It was a lot of weird
this year.
injuries this year too.
Yeah.
I feel like
Um,
there was more high. I mean, it. I mean, there's always a lot of injuries, but I feel like it was more like high profile injuries.
oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
You know, more of the guys that are you're like, oh God, he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of injuries that actually like severely
Big
impacted
role
their
players, household
teams.
names.
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of injuries, I'll say Dallas dodged a bullet to end the season. Um, Stephon Gilmore uh, dislocated his rotator cuff against the Commanders week 18. Missed the entire second half, um, which I didn't even notice, to be honest. But he's fine. No tears. The Steelers are coming back
We did not dodge a
somewhat
bullet.
somewhat healthy. Y'all are coming back somewhat healthy, despite
I'm,
TJ with what happened with TJ Watt.
yeah, TJ Watt's been ruled out this week. They announced it today in Mike Tomlin's press conference. So there's probably
Good
like a
news is his
99.
brother is trying to play in his stead.
Bro, when I saw him post that, I was dying.
You think they would
Dying.
notice? Yeah, you're a
Yeah, a
little
little
bit
bit.
bigger than TJ. I think they'll
That would be
notice.
crazy, bro. Put them both on the same end. It's a wrap.
I think that they would notice.
That would
You're a
be
little
fucking
bit
hilarious.
bigger.
But we do get Minka Fitzpatrick back. We get Casey back.
Yeah, y'all are
Um,
getting some players back, but then y'all lose y'all's
the
y'all's
good thing
y'all's
is
y'all's defense in its entirety with Watt.
the
So
good thing is we our
see what
depth
Highsmith can do.
the depth at our defensive I mean outside is really good. We got Hightower. Herberg's been coming on strong. Um, Marcus Golden, like we're still strong in that aspect. None of them will, you know, live up to TJ going down, but they're the other two are really good. So it might it's gonna hurt. It just might not hurt as much. We've got those two backups that have been there all season, and they know
Hmm.
and they're good players. Herberg's a monster. Golden's a true vet. He's been there for a while. So I feel like, yeah, it's going to suck, but at least it's a position where we have good depth. So,
Y'all can get pressure, then
yeah,
it'll be a good matchup.
it's not going to
It'll
be,
be tough if y'all can't get any
it's,
pressure.
it's, it's good enough. They're good enough where they're not going to be able to focus all their attention onto Highsmith because if they do, the other two can get in there and do something.
Right.
So that's a plus. Last couple years we haven't had that. It's TJ's down. We're kind of screwed because we don't have that depth. This year we have that depth. The only bad thing about it is without TJ Watt, we're 1-10. So we need to
Y'all
be
can't
2-10
generate
without
pressure.
TJ Watt. So I'm hoping it'll change. Um, we'll see. But with
It's
that,
gonna
with us getting our secondary fully healthy, full strength, that might help us a lot. Because if we can slow down their receivers or tight ends, that's gonna help them get a little more pressure on the Allen.
yeah. Well, we're gonna have to generate
And
some.
I saw that Pittsburgh did their press conference. They were like, "Well, aren't you worried about a rushing quarterback?" And Tomlin said, "We play Lamar Jackson twice a year."
Right. No.
like like we they know what to
Y'all ain't
look.
worried
They
about a
know
mobile
they
quarterback.
yeah that we know
Y'all are
we know how
familiar
to
with
game
that.
plan. Yeah,
Quite
so
familiar.
like that's not an issue. You know, I think Joey Porter Jr. is gonna lock up Stephon Diggs like he's been locking up all these number ones all year.
Oh,
So we'll see.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Peterson coming back, that's gonna help on Gabe Davis. So we'll see.
We'll see. And speaking of wild card, let's talk about this the six slated games we've got lined up for this weekend. Starting Saturday. And I guess while we're talking about it, we can, if we're gonna do picks,
Might as well do them then. Yeah.
we can do them at the same time. Start off with the Saturday wild card games. Fifth seed Browns traveling to the division winning Houston Texans.
I feel like this is going to be one of the best games of the weekend.
Saturday at 3:30 p.m. This one, man, we're primed for some big matchups this week.
Yeah.
Like I would out of Saturday, the first game is one that I'm more looking forward to, and then of course the first two for Sunday. I mean, all of them for Sunday are really good matchups.
Yeah, I think the Texans matchup is going to be really good. Um,
I
I
think that
know. I know. Last time they played together, Cleveland won, but they didn't have C.J. Stroud.
right.
He was out with his concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they won by like 8. So it could go either way. Um, I think it's going to be a good game. Think isn't that the? I think that was the game. Isn't that the game? Amari Cooper lit him up for like 200 some yards.
Yeah, 265.
Yeah, if he does that again,
Good lord.
but with them having C.J. Stroud back, I think it's going to be a little closer. I honestly think the Cleveland defense is can shut down. I think they can slow the Texans up.
Oh yeah.
So I really feel like the Browns probably
Yeah,
they
I
probably
got
take it.
Cleveland here.
Yeah, I did too. Now Texans may surprise everybody. C.J. Stroud's been pulling shit out his ass all year.
Yeah,
Like he's,
he
you know,
has, but this
he's.
is. I mean,
I
people
will
can
say,
say that they kind of played a playoff game against Indianapolis, but that still wasn't a playoff atmosphere.
and
So
that wasn't Cleveland's defense.
no, he's
Their defense is
they're
way
in for
better
a
than
rude
Indy's.
awakening against Cleveland. They're gonna get now. I don't think they're just gonna get ran over, but they're gonna get
No,
punched in the mouth, and it's
oh
not gonna
yeah,
feel
a
good.
couple times.
So
I will give Houston so much credit. Um, they just showed all these teams a rebuilding doesn't take as long as everybody says.
you got Coach of the Year and Rookie of the Year.
Easily. I think Houston. Everybody knew Houston was in a rebuilding phase. It didn't take as long as everybody thought. Even us, we thought that this year they'd be okay, but and they wouldn't be the greatest, but next year they'd start getting better. But
We didn't
shit,
have them winning their division. We didn't
we
have
didn't
them
have them
winning
making the
10
playoffs.
games.
Yeah, so they really they did something right down there.
Oh,
So
definitely.
they're gonna get scary the next couple years.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So
That's going to be a really
and
good matchup. Probably
and I,
the best out of
yeah,
that day for sure.
definitely.
Close out Saturday. Uh, they didn't really free fall, but I mean, I guess you can kind of say they free falled week 18. They were the number 2 seed, but with the loss to the Bills, they dropped to the 6th seed. So they are traveling to Kansas City. Currently, the weather in Kansas
It's gonna be
City
cold.
is slated for 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cold. Miami ain't ready for that.
It is slated to be 0 degrees, possibly going to be in the negatives. Yeah, I got the Chiefs here.
I did too. Just one, the Chiefs seem to pull something out of their ass all the time. And then two, if it's gonna be that cold, I don't. The Dolphins ain't ready for that.
No, they're going to freeze.
They're. I mean, Tyreek Hill's handled it before, but they're so used to playing in warm weather
Mm-hmm.
that that cold's gonna hurt them.
The only way Miami stands a chance, Tyreek is going to have to take control from start to finish.
Yeah.
Tyreek has to be the deciding factor from start to finish. The
And I
only
mean,
way Miami stands a chance.
I get it. Kansas City ain't played the best this year. Honestly, KC's the team you want to match up against, except if you're Miami. Miami's not a cold weather team. Cleveland can play in the cold. Pittsburgh, Buffalo, they can all play in the cold. Miami is not a cold team, playing team. So out of all the teams, at like Kansas City I was hoping we got Kansas City. That'd be best case scenario for us. We're a cold weather team. We love playing in the cold and the snow. Miami's the only team that this doesn't benefit.
Nope.
Like
It's going to be rough, but yeah.
yeah. Houston or Miami were worse. They're not warm. They're warm weather teams. So I think KC just because the weather is going to be their best friend that game.
Yeah. Be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sunday. Start with Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. I'll say this. I am concerned with y'all being able to generate pressure. Therefore, it will allow Josh Allen to carve up the middle of y'all's defense. Not outside the numbers, because I do think your corners will be able to slow down the receivers, but I think that they're going to target the middle of the field with their tight ends. I still think Pittsburgh wins, I just think y'all are gonna have a tough time generating pressure. If y'all can't generate any type of pressure, y'all are not beating Buffalo.
Yes, I agree. Like I said, our linebacker core is hurting right now.
That's what. That's the.
They're hurting.
Speaks to exactly what
I
I
am
said.
I am not worried about their wide receivers. Gabe Davis, Patterson can handle him all day. Um, I think Stephon Diggs. I think against Joey Porter, Stephon Diggs is just going to match up just like Jamar Chase did. DK. He was only letting him have like one reception, two receptions. He didn't have that. No big receiver had big days on him.
Mm-mm.
If he can hold Diggs to a couple catches where he's not a big impact, that really helps. What we're gonna have, so wide receivers, I'm not worried about. I think we got that on lock. What we have to worry about is Kincaid and Knox.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see a lot of one high safeties because they're gonna bring down that other safety to cover a tight end.
Huh?
Or a lot of nickel where they're bringing extra because they're gonna have to because those tight ends are good.
Oh yeah.
So if they can figure out, I think we can put a good stop on the rush. I think we can handle that pretty well. Um, Hayward and them, they've been doing a decent job at that this year, not letting teams get crazy going on the run. If we can stop that, and if we can stop the tight ends, I think that gives our chances a lot better. Um, and it's going to be a cold game. I think our run offense is going to have a day.
Yeah.
So
He's had a
I,
good last few weeks.
he's got a head of steam on him right now.
Mm.
What was that game against the Ravens, bro? That motherfucker was moving the pile. So he's the first. I think he's the first running back since Alfred Morris for the Washington Redskins to have 1,000 yard rushing season his first 3 seasons. So he's pumping it like he's a workhorse. So I think that's going to go up. I see them having a big day on the run, which will open up the pass, which will spread their defense too thin. And I think that's what we need to counteract our defense not being 100%. Defense has been carried us so long this season. This game, I feel like our offense has to carry us. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we can do that. Our offense is going to have to carry us this game. I just see it with our defense being where they're at. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah. I think it's gonna come down to one, can your defensive line generate pressure? And can your receivers separate?
Yeah.
Because I Buffalo stops the run pretty well. So I don't see
hmm
y'all running all over them.
I don't see us having that 200
So
yard game. I think
no. I
our
think
running's gonna be good enough to open the passing a little bit, where they're gonna be
yeah,
like, what do we do? What do we stop?
the keys to y'all winning this game is y'all have to y'all have to be balanced on offense and be able to generate pressure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
if
think
y'all
it's
are
gonna
one
be
dimensional, it's
cannot be one dimensional. I think Deontay Johnson and Fryermuth's gonna have a big game. They're gonna double Pickens.
oh for sure.
They're gonna keep a safety over top of him all day, which is gonna free up Fryermuth and Deontay Johnson. So if they can get that to work, then we'll be all right. It's so many little things for us, but at the end of the day, I think I'm very very confident we can beat the Bills. We just make Josh Allen turn over. He likes doing that anyway.
Very possible that it could happen. All right.
As long as we got it.
Yeah. Long dog generate pressure. That's my main concern.
Yep. That mine too.
All right. Following the Pittsburgh Buffalo game, 3:30 p.m. Green Bay travels to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys.
Have they played each other this season at all?
Not this year, no, they didn't.
I didn't think
They
so.
played last year, uh, when Aaron Rodgers was still there. Um, I'll say this: Jordan Love since week 11, TD interception ratio is 18-1. So he hasn't turned the ball over since week 11.
I mean, he started off rough, but his last half of the season,
Yeah.
I think he's 6-2 his last 8 games. So I mean,
He's played really well. He's
mhm.
gotten them into the playoffs. They're the youngest team in the playoffs.
Yep.
Their average age is, I think, 27. They do some things well on the offense that cause some problems to Dallas's defense. They're really good at play action pass. Dallas is pretty when it comes to defending play action. Overall, I don't see Green Bay being able to match Dallas blow for blow.
I don't either.
Green Bay's defense is nowhere close to how good Dallas's defense is. They have a lot more question marks. Dak and CeeDee Lamb are the best quarterback wide receiver combo going into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they're like peanut butter
Shit,
and
Dak
jelly.
is outside of Lamar, Dak is the best quarterback in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
I agree with that.
I mean,
100%.
shit. I mean, Dak. Technically, Dak has had a better season than Lamar. The only reason why Lamar is the MVP is because he did what he did to the 49ers.
Yep.
If that game against the 49ers was close, Prescott's winning the MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's played better than every single
passer
quarterback the
rater,
entire year.
touchdown interception ratio, all that. He's beating them all in every category except rushing.
Yeah. And he's used his legs
yeah.
more than he has the past few years.
No, he's used his legs when he needed to, which was good. And plus, I mean, you said it right there at the beginning. Green Bay's the youngest team to ever make the playoffs. Their first playoff game's in Dallas.
Come on, man.
It's gonna be loud as fuck. They're all young.
Bro, Dallas's social media page has already announced that it's going to be a whiteout.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud, bro. So
there's gonna be
welcome to the playoffs, Green Bay.
Screaming Cowboy fans.
That's not where you want to play your first game.
With their white towels.
Yeah.
In a stadium where they haven't lost a single game in 2 years.
Yeah, that's not a place you want to play your first game. Them being young, it can be that loud. They're gonna have mistakes. It's
Dallas's
I feel bad for Green Bay because I like Green Bay, but I feel like they're gonna get their feelings hurt.
I'm not expecting it to be
not like blown out, but I'm just saying like
at least not the beginning.
It's gonna be a close first quarter. First half, maybe. I just don't know. I just don't think Green Bay can last like as long.
Right. It really just depends. It depends on how Dallas starts.
Yeah, if Dallas starts
if Dallas comes off and they score their first 2 drives, it's over.
Dallas got to come out and kick them in the mouth.
It's over. Like, do you remember when the last time Dallas lost at home?
I don't know.
It was last year, game 1 against Tampa.
Yeah, it's gonna be
by 4 points.
Dallas ain't losing. Ain't no shot they're fucking losing.
There's a lot of things that I liked out of Pollard from these last few weeks. Pollard got his 1,000 yards. Guess what he ended his year with?
What's that?
2 yards under his career high.
Nice.
1,005 yards.
That's good.
We've had some remnants of a run game past 2 weeks. Dak, of course, has played like an MVP all year. I don't fault him for that interception he had against Washington because it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Who cares? I mean,
yeah, it'll be.
What could I say about CeeDee Lamb? He
He's been
led
having
the
a good
league
year.
in receptions, second in yards, second in touchdowns. I mean, dude's a fucking monster.
He proved a lot of people wrong this year.
And you've got, well,
He was
like you
getting a
said,
lot.
man, Green Bay is going, like, this is probably the worst matchup Green Bay could have to start their playoffs. You have the hottest quarterback and receiver in the league, and you're gonna have to try to slow them down. CD Lamb has CD has 325 receiving yards in 2 weeks and 3 touchdowns.
He's CeeDee Lamb is having a good. He had an amazing year.
He's
Everybody
balling
at the
out.
beginning of the year said, "Oh, he's not a number one. He's not a number one." Well, guess what? He proved them all wrong.
Since the loss to the 49ers, CD Lamb is averaging 9 receptions on 12 targets
Jeez.
since week 5. He's the most targeted receiver in the league.
Yeah.
He ended the year 50 yards under Tyreek Hill. And all year people were saying Tyreek's going to hit 2,000, Tyreek's going to hit 2,000. Shit. If we would have kept feeding CD against Miami, or if he would have been playing all year, CD would have broke that record
Yeah.
easily.
I think CD started off a little slow
Mm-hmm.
first few weeks.
Because we were trying to spread the ball.
I think if they started him off like they what ended up happening, I think he definitely would have broke it.
You know what it was? That Arizona game when Prescott targeted Michael Gallup 20 times. I mean, not do MG like that, but still. I'm not expecting much out of Green Bay's secondary.
Yeah.
I, th- I think Dallas, I think Dak and
Dallas
CD are going to
throw.
cook.
Yeah, I think Dallas is going to throw all over him.
Yeah. Pretty sure we both got Dallas here.
Oh yeah.
The most interesting matchup, probably all weekend, probably going to be the most watched matchup all weekend, despite the Cowboys game, of course, because it's just a Cowboys game. Matt Stafford is traveling to his former home, take on the Detroit Lions, who are hosting a playoff game for the first time in 10 years. Probably not that long, but they haven't won one in that long. So they're looking to win their first playoff game in 10 years. Matthew Stafford is looking to come in and ruin his former team.
Yeah, he's trying to hurt their feelings.
Yeah. This is probably the worst case scenario for Detroit. Probably the last person they wanted to see round one.
Mm-hmm.
Their former quarterback. I don't like this matchup for the Lions. I
I
think
don't either.
I think the Rams match up really well.
Yeah, I agree. I went Rams.
Yeah, so did I.
I think Detroit's been hot and then cold and then hot and then cold, and these last 4 weeks, Los Angeles been on a tear.
Yep.
I think they got Puka Puka. You know, that's my boy. Cooper Cup, the Williams running. Stafford's just on he's thrown out of his mind. I think their offense is too high powered right now.
It's just a bad overall matchup for him. I think Detroit's going to come in there with a lot of emotion. It's going to work in their favor to start off, and it's going to backfire. They're going to be too emotional. It's going to be their first playoff game under Dan Campbell. Matt Stafford's going to come in there with his emotions in check. Finally got that chip off his shoulder, won multiple playoff games, and hosted a Lombardi Trophy at the end of
Yeah. I
So
mean, you got to think the Rams are 7-1 in the last 8 weeks.
their only loss is to Baltimore. That was in overtime.
And only, yeah, in overtime. They're playing good right now. So I just think, I just don't think that Detroit can hang with them.
Me either.
Because the issue
Detroit's
with
a good
Detroit
team, but
is a lot of their losses are like when they played the Ravens, they lost by
they got
32
skunked.
points.
They didn't score.
You know, when like I feel like when I just don't think the Rams can lose to Detroit.
I, I put this on Stafford. I don't see Stafford lose.
No, hell no.
Like, because that's like the biggest like y'all should have stuck with me a little bit longer kind of moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I leave. Y'all trade me. I win a Super Bowl, and then I come back. Y'all finally getting into the playoffs, and then I knock y'all out first round. Like that's just the biggest slap in the face.
Yep.
Pretty wild.
He's like, why couldn't you build a team like this when I was there?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck?
Like shit. Where was this defense when I needed it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Stafford
Yeah,
his revenge.
definitely. Probably going to be the most emotional
I hope he
game.
does too. I want him to.
Yeah,
I
sure.
like Stafford. I really do like Stafford. I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, and he's not a flashy quarterback. He just gets in there and gets his job done.
Yeah. There's already been a narrative by Detroit fans posting on the social media saying that the team has announced that all Detroit Lion Stafford jerseys are banned from Ford Field with their matchup against the Rams. Matt Stafford's wife responded to the comment, pretty much just saying that it's okay. Matt has no problem being the bigger person here.
Nice.
And he's gonna show up and he's gonna ruin their fucking New Year's. Gonna show up and knock him out of the playoffs first round. Oof, that's gonna be a bittersweet moment for him and his family.
Yeah.
Even though they're not salty for being traded or anything, they always they handle that whole ordeal professionally. All right. Wrap up WildCard weekend, Super WildCard weekend. The free falling Philadelphia Eagles take on the surging Tampa Bay Bucks. The Eagles are losers of 5 out of their last 6. And Tampa are winners of 2 out of their last 3. They played each other earlier in the season, and it was the Eagles' only substantial double-digit win of the season. I got Tampa.
I'm with you on that. So I'm on the fence with this one. I think Baker Mayfield cooks the Eagles.
Of course.
I really do. But at the same time, the Bucks have been weird this year.
They did only score 9 points against Carolina, so I understand your trepidation.
It's
being skeptical.
But like they beat the Packers, and then it's like every top team they've played this year, they've lost.
Right. I mean, it's like, you could say the same for the Eagles.
Yeah. I agree. And
the Eagles beat the Chiefs and the Bills and Dallas, and if one play out of all those games goes the other way, the Eagles are at 3 more losses. They're 8-9, and they miss the playoffs.
Yeah, like I'm on the fence. I don't want the Eagles to win. I don't like the Eagles. I don't. Pennsylvania only needs one team, and it ain't from Philly.
I
All right.
can't stand Philadelphia.
So like I don't like them. I'm going Tampa Bay. Don't get me wrong. I'm going Tampa Bay. I just worry that like I don't know, but at the same time, I think Baker Mayfield is going to cook them because I feel like Baker Mayfield's got a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at the beginning of the season thought the Bucks picking him up was a bad idea.
Right. I thought that
I
that
like
was
Baker Mayfield,
I I
and
I I liked the pickup between Tampa and Baker. I think that was
I do too.
when I first heard that, I was like, oh man, that's a perfect fit for him. He can this can restart his career, and I'm safe to say I think I was on the right path with that judgment.
I think they will.
Um,
I just worry the Eagles have this fucking weird win. I don't know,
I don't know.
but
I don't think so. I think uh, Jalen Hurts he's still bothered with his knee, and then on top of that, he dislocated his middle finger on his throwing hand. AJ Brown left that game with a knee injury, and Devontae Smith left the game with an ankle injury.
if
So your three key players on offense all played poorly the last week of the season and ended their regular season with an injury. Does not bode well for them going into the playoffs. Granted that they were the luckiest out of all the teams and they got the lone Monday night game, so they get an extra day of rest.
hmm
I just don't see I just don't see Philadelphia pulling it out. I think they're going to come and they're going to fight. Of course, they're going to make it tough. I
Tampa
think
Bay,
I
Baker
think
Mayfield
Tampa
has
runs away with this.
Tampa Bay has. I mean, Baker Mayfield has to have a game. He's got to get Godwin, and Evans. They gotta get included.
I don't think this is going to be a big. I think they're going to have a balanced offense, but I think I think Tampa's run game is what's really going to set the tone.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Tampa hasn't had one most of the season.
Mm-mm.
It just started picking up towards the end of the season,
Right.
so it's got to stay consistent.
But yeah,
I think Tampa Bay, as long as they can hit their stuff they need to hit, I think they'll win it. Um, but we all know how Philly likes to get lucky ass shit. For some reason, they get lucky shit happen all the time,
right.
and they pull something out their ass. I just hope it doesn't happen. I'd love to see the Bucks knock them out. One, because if the Bucks knock Philly out, it, Tampa Bay is going to make Baker Mayfield their long term quarterback,
Oh, for sure.
and I'd like to see that because I think he deserves it.
Hmm.
I think he got a bad rep out of Cleveland.
Baker is playing for an extra $3.5 million, or he was week 18.
Is he
He played for an extra 3.5 million in
good?
incentives. So I think he earned his extra 3.5 mil
Oh, did he?
in incentives. Yes.
Nice,
Um,
good. I,
the
th-
other
I I think they're gonna sign him to a long term contract after this year. I just would like to see him win the first round, and
right.
because if he wins the
I
first round,
wouldn't
it's
be
guaranteed.
I wouldn't be surprised if they franchise tagged him.
Give him one more shot, one more year, see
Well,
how he
not
does.
necessarily that, because I mean, it's still more money than what he's making this year. Because franchise
Mhm.
tag for next year, I think is 35 million.
I feel like they're gonna waste it on Mike Evans.
Um, I don't know. I think that they're gonna try to they're gonna try to build. They're gonna try to add on and get a younger roster around Baker.
Yeah, no, and then Baker's still young, so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see him get that win though. I really do.
Yep.
One because I fucking hate the Eagles. They need to
And
move out. They need to move out of Pennsylvania.
I think Antoine Winfield Jr. is gonna be playing with a chip on his shoulder because he got snubbed out of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
They
he
had
did.
I don't know how Buda Baker gets into the Pro Bowl with no picks, no tackles for loss, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, no sacks. He's got zeros in all those categories, and Winfield has like 4 or 5 in all those categories, and he doesn't make the Pro Bowl. So I think Winfield's coming out to make a statement as well.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of people
the
didn't make the
Bucks
Pro Bowl. That should
free
have.
safety, I think. Gonna be interesting
Yeah, they stubbed some people out.
for sure. That wraps up Super Wildcard Weekend. How did we end the regular season?
So we ended the regular season. I finished. We both finished last week 10-6. So I finished the season 163 and 109. You finished 158 and 114. So I won by 5 games.
Damn,
Boom, boom, shakalaka.
made it close. Could have been worse.
Yes.
Could have been. All right, people. Well, that wraps up episode 19 as we start to wind down the NFL postseason. We'll see how this weekend goes, and we will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on X at 2GuysPC. And if your team is in the playoffs, good luck.
Yeah, enjoy this weekend. It's gonna be crazy.
If you're a Green Bay fan, I'm sorry.
Me too.
We love you guys, and we will see you guys next week at
Later.
Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Goodbye.
Peace.